If you clicked on this video, you are or probably were a fan of the Barbie movies at one point. But if you're not sure exactly what they are or need a quick refresher, here we go. It all started with Mattel realizing that Barbie's brand was slowly declining. And you may be thinking, what are you talking about? Barbie is like the most popular toy. But in 2001, a new doll was released under MGA Entertainment. And that doll was, of course, Bratz. It essentially was using a more mature and sexualized version of Barbie to capture the attention of young girls as the next big thing. After researching ways that Mattel could overpower the sudden popularity of Bratz, they came to the conclusion that there was only one way to capture the minds of girls in the 2000s. And yes, that would be television and other internet media. So after deciding to partner with Canada's Mainframe Entertainment, the first Barbie movie was born. The official Barbie movie franchise began after the release of Barbie and the Nutcracker in the year 2001, which was a direct-to-video animated, albeit badly, film that occasionally aired on Nickelodeon and ABC. The movies would focus on magic-based stories with a common theme of girl power and staying true to yourself, and all of that stuff. As of today, over 40 Barbie movies have been released, and the franchise has done extremely well. However, for today, I'm only going to be focusing on the older movies up until 2011-ish, since those are the ones I'm most familiar with, and you probably are too. But let's get back to the main point, the iceberg. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the deepest, strangest, most interesting Barbie movie lore I could find. After digging through Tumblr, wiki pages, and TikTok, I think I have a pretty good lineup. We'll start with the lighter, more well-known topics, and slowly get into the deeper stuff. However, I do want to make a quick disclaimer before I begin. Some of the topics I will discuss include emotional abuse, racism, brief sexual topics, death, body dysmorphia, and child exploitation. If any of these topics are triggering to you, it is absolutely okay to click off of this video or skip those parts. I also want to preface this by saying many of these are just theories and speculated ideas, and I have no intention of harming Mattel or any other company involved with the films. This video is purely for entertainment. So without further ado, let's get into the Barbie movie iceberg. Starting off strong at layer 1, we have Barbie and the Rockers and Barbie and the Sensations. These were the two original Barbie movies way before the official franchise started, being produced in the late 1980s. In Barbie and the Rockers, Barbie takes on the role of a lead singer in a rock band called the Rockers. Along with her friends, they embark on a musical adventure filled with catchy songs and exciting performances, the usual. The film's plot revolves around the Rockers facing obstacles and rivalries from another band called the Misfits, who try to sabotage their success. Throughout the movie, Barbie and her friends demonstrate perseverance, creativity, and the power of music as they strive to overcome challenges and prove themselves as true rock stars. In the Sensations movie, Barbie and her band the Rockers are going back home. During the trip back to Earth, the band's space shuttle suddenly inadvertently enters a time warp. Upon landing in the airport, they meet Dr. Marisha and his daughter Kim, and soon learn that they have been transported back to 1959. The band then goes on a tour around the city alongside Kim, performing at several spots. After a performance at Cape Canaveral, Dr. Marisha helps Barbie and the Rockers return to their time. Back in the present, they stage a big concert in New York City, where Barbie is reunited with an adult Kim and introduced to her daughter Megan. I wanted to mention that I thought this future flashback was really interesting. I wonder if they'll ever come back to that, and if Barbie will ever have a daughter. I think it's a cute idea for sure. Next up, we have the Barbie as an actress theory. Now, I wouldn't even say it's a theory personally, because it comes across pretty clearly in the movies. This theory primarily revolves around the idea that Barbie herself is acting in the Barbie movies. For example, in a fashion fairy tale, you can see that the character Barbie is filming a movie. In the movie titles, it often says Barbie in or Barbie as, differentiating the two. In some movies, such as ones with her sisters, she is portrayed simply as herself. This goes for the Vlogverse as well in the newer films, which I'm not really going to cover. This one is pretty self-explanatory if you've seen the movies. So next up, Brie Larson. Now, we all know Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, but did you know she also played a part in the Barbie universe? As a child, Brie was an aspiring child actor in Los Angeles. She had a short-lived music career as well, with Hope Has Wings being included in her first album. This was titled Finally Out of PE and released in 2005 after she was signed to Casablanca Records aside Lindsay Lohan. However, it didn't gain much traction and she eventually fell out of music and went more into acting. She made an appearance at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade to sing Hope Has Wings with a Magic of Pegasus themed float. I think this was super cool to include considering she's a huge star now and she's actually always been really talented even if her old stuff didn't get as much recognition. Did you know that Rapunzel's dress can actually be seen in Madame Carp's Emporium? This suggests that the universes the movies take place in are connected or parallel. It's also interesting to consider that Rapunzel and Annalise are from different kingdoms, so either the dress was handed down after a long time period, or Gothel made a trip to the kingdom to buy that dress for Rapunzel. Either way, it's an interesting thing to consider. Realistically, the animators were probably just on a budget and reused a dress they already animated. I mean, this goes for a lot of the theories, but I like to think it's more than that and the worlds are all connected. Another interesting Barbie movie fact is that the villains are often associated with the color green. This color often represents envy or jealousy. Of course, we see the villains constantly jealous of Barbie's character, hence trying to constantly sabotage her. We see this with Lydia, Laverna, Wenlock, and more. I think it's interesting that the developers used the color to signify the true intentions and feelings of the characters. Barbie movie flash games. And I feel like a lot of you know this one because we all played these when we were younger. They were basically several games created online to help promote the Barbie movie franchise. These included games for Mermaidia, Swan Lake, and Princess and the Pauper, among many others. There's not too much to say about these. They're really just a promotional tactic geared toward young kids. And of course, I was one of them. The games were fun though, and I could definitely see them being great for marketing. The Barbie cinematic universe is a complicated theory. Basically, it's the idea that all of the movies are connected somehow. Now, I'm not going to get into the entirety of it right now because that would just be a whole separate video, but later I'll explain more about the time period theory and how the movies all connect with that. The Nutcracker Easter eggs. A little known Barbie movie fact is that the Nutcracker actually appears in many other movies. He can be seen if you look close enough in Rapunzel, Swan Lake, Princess and the Pauper, Diamond Castle, Christmas Carol, Fashion Fairy Tale, Fairy Secret, Princess Charm School, and so many more. This idea likely came from Disney Pixar's use of Easter eggs, and I think it's super cool that they did that. Kelly versus Chelsea. Of course, we all know Barbie's little sister, right? Well, kind of. Some of us know her as Kelly, and some of us know her as Chelsea. They're allegedly the same character, but renamed. Kelly was introduced in 1995 and retired in 2010. She was then replaced by Chelsea in 2011. I would assume this is for marketing purposes, but I'm not 100% sure. I know that they wanted to market the doll in Asia, but there was already a Kelly toy there, hence the name change. Kelly's doll definitely has a more babyish look than Chelsea's as well. She also is known as Shelley in Swan Lake, so I'm not really sure the reasoning behind that.